What up, African world? It's Zande team here, and welcome back to another video of African history, culture, and worldview. And welcome back to my series, A Closer Look. Today, we're going to be taking a closer look at the Zande people. And as always, if you want to support the home team, you can do so on patreon.com. I have some new rewards for you guys, so be sure to check that out. Also, go to Afrographics.com, a website where you can find unique illustrative infographics summarizing African history. All links to Patreon, Afrographics, and home team merchandise are in the description box below. The Zande, or Azande, are also known as the Nyam, and they're said to number between 1 and 4 million people living mainly in the modern countries of the Central African Republic, South Sudan, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Their language is called Pazande, belonging to the Adamawa family of the Niger-Congo language phylum. The exact origins of the Zande people are not really clear, but more solid information about their history and identity seems to become more prominent in the 18th century. The region of East South Sudan was apparently from the end of the 16th century settled by 3 waves of immigrants speaking Central Sudanic languages. The third and last of these waves comprised of a people known as the Vangara clan. The origin of the Vangara clan is obscure, with traditions going back only to the 18th century. There are some myths concerning a hero who was an ancestor of the Vangara, and his name is different in different myths. He's often referred to as either Korongboa, Kliso, or Basenenga. This man attained power and high rank due to personal abilities, being a good host and judge, and introducing the custom of distributing spears among his followers. The traditions emphasize the political abilities of Korongboa, but there are no traditions speaking of any kind of supernatural origin with respect to his power. Some scholars suggest that these myths only serve as a guide for moral behavior amongst Zande rulers. Most traditions speak of a ruler called Ngura of the 18th century who consolidated his domain along the lower Mbomu River. He sent his sons Mabenge and Tombo to conquer kingdoms of their own. Mabenge went into the direction of the Ule River and Tombo to the southwest. Tombo had 4 sons, who continued the expansion of their domains to the southwest. Mabenge also had 4 sons, who spread to the east. From these genealogies led to the chiefs and members of the Vangara clan of the 20th century. In principle, there were 7 Vangara ruling houses, which traced their origin from Tombo and Mabenge. The Vangara clan conquered many people living in the Central African Republic, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and southwestern Sudan. Members of this clan became the nobles of the Zande states that they established. They did not form and rule a single Zande state, but rather many small and often competing states, which nevertheless shared the same language and culture. The rulers of these Zande states set up courts and ruled directly over a central province, but delegated power to other Vangara nobles and commoners who governed adjacent provinces. These so-called subordinate viceroys often freed themselves from the authority of their former patrons and established their own states, so that the process of conquering and assimilating non-Zande peoples continued as ambitious deputies became rulers of their own expanding domains and delegated authority to their own subordinates. The governors of outlying provinces were often the sons of a Vangara ruler whose death led to a succession dispute among his many sons. Commoners who led warriors to conquer new populations and gain the trust of a Vangara noble, for example, were often delegated authority to govern these new subjects, and thus frequently became the rivals of their patrons' noble sons. The Zande are farmers and have traditionally raised crops of maize, rice, peanuts, sesame, cassava, and sweet potatoes. The Zande live in an area where various fruit can also be raised, such as bananas and mangoes. Livestock didn't really play an important role in their economic system until the 20th century, other than chickens, with meat being supplied by hunting. The Zande believe in a single creator god called Mboli, in addition to the ancestor spirits. However, runs of bad luck are attributed to traditional spiritualists. One British scholar points out that for the Zande and other African peoples, being a traditional spiritualist is an inherited quality, and spiritualism is a so-called psychic art. The Zande believe in the ability of a spiritualist to think something and it befall the person he or she is thinking about. Any misfortune is reason to be the work of a spiritualist. This scholar notes that generally those accused of being a spiritualist are close neighbors, and those who live at some distance are not seen as causing harm. Commoners may accuse other commoners, but not members of the ruling Vongara clan, who cannot be spiritualists. Spiritualism being an inherited trait through the father's line. The Zande people expanded rapidly eastward and northward during the early 19th century toward the Nile rivers, and their subjects included many non-Zande people as mentioned before. Well, I'm all out guys. If you like these videos and want to help out in its continued production, please consider supporting the home team on patreon.com. The link is in the description box below. Know thyself. Remember your ancestors. Peace.